This tutorial demonstrates simple drawing techniques using a sample drawing. These palettes are used throughout this tutorial. All palettes used in this tutorial are found here. For this tutorial, a grid is used with spacings of 500 on the X and Y axes. So that the cursor will snap onto each grid intersection, right-click onto the Snap tab and make sure that the grid snap is activated. When the grid snap is activated, the cursor will only snap to the minor or major grid intersections. Starting from the lower left corner and using one of the major grid intersections, draw a 2D rectangle to the following size. A rectangle is drawn as a single entity. When selected, it can be observed how all lines are connected. To reduce the selected object to 4 separate lines, the rectangle must be exploded. After exploding, each line segment is a separate entity and can be selected as such. An arc will be drawn here by defining the start, end and apex points. Target the upper right grid point, the upper left grid point, then drag the arc to an appropriate grid point at the apex. This line segment can now be deleted. 2 inner offsets will be created to the following values. Select the Offset tool, then tab to the data fields and input the appropriate offset values. Select the profile, then create the inner offsets as indicated. A rectangle consisting of multiple lines will be drawn here. Right-click onto the Multi-Line tool and apply the following offset settings. Input the following offsets, using Add or Delete where necessary. Left-click onto the Multi-Line Rectangle tool and draw a rectangle from the lower left to the upper right corner in the indicated position. This panel will be arrayed to create a 2-column and 4-row array. Select the panel, then find the Edit Array tool. Tab to the data fields and input the following information. The manipulation and modification tools will be used to redesign the door panels. This panel will be deleted, then the one alongside it will be rotated through 90 degrees. Use the selector shell handles to resize the door panel horizontally. Repeat this time using a crossing selection to select the door panels. Use the selector shell handles to resize this vertically. A symmetrically opposite duplicate of these panels will now be created on the opposite side. This is done by selecting the door panels, then using the Edit Mirror tool. To create a mirroring line, target the midpoint on the bottom rectangle and hold down the Shift key to create the symmetrically opposite duplicate. A new arc will be offset from the inner arc. This new arc will be used as the cutting edge for the door panels. Zoom in here and select the inner polyline to explode. The inner arc can now be offset at a distance of 300. This new arc can now be used as a cutting edge to trim the overlapping door panels. The vertical lines at the edges will now be extended to the bottom of the door. First explode the rectangles, making sure both sets are fully exploded. The Multi-Shrink Extend tool can be used to extend multiple edges to a boundary. The Power Stretch tool is used to stretch the door frame and the panels from the center towards the right. A distance of 500 will be given. Left-click to identify a source point, then tab to the data fields and input the following value as the destination point. Door handles will be inserted here from the blocks palette. Select both door handles to create a top alignment. To complete the drawing, a line can be drawn from the midpoint to the quadrant to separate the doors.